Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka Disney Queen. The last time we chatted, there was a lot of news. Since then, there's been a lot of news. So stay tuned and we're going to chat Disney. Hi guys, it's Cyndi, aka Disney Queen. I love doing chat Disney videos, mostly because it seems like every month there's something new going on. Like Disney has been putting out so much news that it makes your head spin. And some of the news is coming up I'm excited about. Some of it kind of scares me because there's still so much stuff going on in the world. But today we are going to talk about all of the new things that have come out news-wise since the last time we talked. So right off the bat, the last time we talked, people were able to be in the parks without wearing masks. They were able to get to go in the rides without wearing masks. But all of that has changed, and that was like one of the first things that came out, like I think like the day or 2 days after I posted my video, that mask wearing is back and it's mandatory for people to wear when they're on rides. And also they had decided that if you were an employee of Disney, you had to be vaccinated. And that was for all salaried and non-union members. So that was big news. It caused a lot of controversy. I'm not going to state my opinion on it. I think kind of if you know me really well, you kind of already know where I stand on things. So we're not going to go into that, but that is definitely some changes since the last time we talked. Next, the big news that came out, I think it was like last week, was everyone finally found out how much the Star Wars cruise rooms were gonna cost. I'm sure there's some other name for it. I am bad at name, guys. I figured that out when I edit my videos. I'm like, why don't I know the name of that? But anyway, we all know it's Star Wars Galactica something. I've stated it before, I am not a Star Wars fan. So this wasn't even something that I was looking at as like a possibility. One, I already knew it was going to cost a lot of money. And if I'm going to spend money at Disney, this would not be how I would choose to spend it. But when the prices actually came out, I guess maybe I'm one of the few people that wasn't surprised, because there have been rumors going off and on for quite a while that it was going to be like in the $5,000 range, but nobody really knew for sure. And they kept saying, when Disney tells us, then we'll know how much it's going to cost. Well, now we know. We know it's in the $5,000 plus range. And all I can say on that is, yeah, y'all have fun. It looks like it's going to be really neat for people who are like diehard Star Wars fans and who have the money to spend on that. But you all know I'm all about that budget, and this is like way outside of my budget range, even if I was a Star Wars fan, but I'm not. And so it looks neat. It looks like it's going to be very submersive. Is that the right word? Immersive, submersive? You guys tell me. It looks like it's going to be really fun. It probably, okay, so like even if I was a Star Wars person, it would probably be a little too immersive for me. And the reason I'm saying that is because, like, I think I've said this before in a video, even the soldiers, like that's just too much for me. Even when I see them in the parks, they kind of freak me out. So I can't even imagine like being like staying in a galactic Star Wars hotel where the whole time you're immersed in that type of role play. That is just like a little bit too much for me. I'm one of those people, like even the people that go on the what is it, the panic room, like I could never do that. No, thank you. Why would I want you to lock me up in a room and I got to figure out how to get out? That would be like my worst nightmare. So yeah, the Star Wars thing, I can't wait to see the videos, because I know some people YouTubers especially are going to want to go and record this whole entire experience, and I am going to be perfectly happy to watch it through your eyes because it's a hard pass for me. I think it's neat. I think it's going to be fun. I feel sorry for the people who have children who, you know, were going to want to go, little Sally, little Joe. And then mom and dad have to tell them, sorry, kids.
That money can be used for your education.
I mean, that's my first thought. That's a semester or at least one course. You know, it's been a while since my kids have been in college. The next bit of news that was really exciting is, okay, I don't know if it's exciting, and I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about this. Okay, so you guys know how I felt about the castle. I did not like the pink with the really bright blue. I can't say that it's grown on me any more than when it first came out, but I kind of understand it now that I see the whole theme of how the 50th anniversary is going to be. So it kind of goes with the 50th anniversary, and I love the lighting that they're showing for all the different park icons. But I saw a couple of days ago that they are painting the clocks at Small World, and you guys tell me, someone said that it used to be colors and then they painted it the gold and the white. And I've been going since 1998, and I was trying to find pictures to see. I'm gonna have to maybe even go back and look at some videos and see. I don't remember what color the clocks were when you first go through Small World before you go into the boat and go on the ride. But I have seen the colors. At first, I was kind of iffy about it. But now that I've seen more of the colors starting to emerge from the pictures that I've seen, I kind of like it a little bit more. I actually like it better than I like the colors that they painted the castle. So if you remember when Small World's facade, the clock facade, was colored, please comment below and like tell me what year was that, because I'm really curious. I even asked my kids and they couldn't remember. I might have to do some Googling and see if I can find pictures of if it did actually look colored before, because that would be interesting that they changed it and now they're changing it back. So that wasn't big news splashed all over the place, but I just thought it was neat. I like the small details about all of the stuff that's going on. So the big things are nice, but I like the little details, like with the gold statues. And I think they've named pretty much what all the different gold statues are going to be. And Figment is even going to have his own statue. Like, that's a big deal. I mean, there was a time when we were kind of worried that Figment wasn't going to be staying around. But if you're making him into a gold statue, I'm guessing Figment's going to be here for a little while. I don't know. You tell me. Okay. Maybe by the time this video comes out, people will have, well, cast members will have already seen it, and maybe even pass holders, and we may even get a glimpse at it. But Remy's Ratatouille is coming, I think, in October, and they have already told cast members that they were going to get a sneak peek at it, and I just can't wait. I think that is the one new ride that I'm excited about. I still haven't seen Mickey's Runaway Railroad. That closed just as we were going to Disney the last time we went, and so I haven't got to see that. But I think I'm more excited about Ratatouille ride, and I'm not even a Ratatouille movie fan, but I'm excited about anything new at Epcot. And the French Pavilion is one of my favorite pavilions, so I'm hoping that by the time I get ready to go, that like the hype will be over and it won't be as hard to get into as it probably will be for the next year or so. Yeah, that's gonna be wild and crazy. Oh, they said some guests may start seeing the ride as soon as October 1st. So that's actually not that far. That's only 2 months away. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Halloween decorations are up at Magic Kingdom. So if you're looking to see that, that is in full swing. Boo Bash started. I saw Tim Tracker's video about Boo Bash, and like I said, I'm not a Halloween person, but from what he said that it's worth it because, one, it's not as crowded. Now, it is, to me, is a lot of money, but I think sometimes people kind of forget that you don't have to use your park ticket to get in. You just have to wait a while to come in that afternoon, and I think the biggest difference the complaint that I've seen most people have about it is the fact that you only have a certain number of hours. So it's not like past Halloween parties. But if you just want to get on the rides, and if you don't want a big crowd, and you're not as it's not as a big deal for you to stand in line to talk to a character, and if you don't miss the fireworks and the parades, because I've heard people say this, if those things aren't as important to you as riding the rides, then this might actually be something worth you looking into. Now, having said that, the Christmas party has been announced that it's coming back, and there will be fireworks, and there will be a parade, and there will be Christmas decorations. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. It is what I love the most, and I cannot wait to see everyone's videos from Christmas time. Like right now, I'm living vicariously through everyone that's going to Disney anytime soon, because it's going to be a minute for me. But the Christmas one, like if I had to choose between which one to go to, it would definitely be the Christmas one. It is a little steep in price, but again, depending on how they do it, if they don't have the big crowds that they've had in the past where you just like can barely get around just to do this, then it might be worth the cost. It just depends on like how much you love Christmas, and if you want to be able to experience Magic Kingdom at night, which I love Magic Kingdom at night. And even riding some of the rides at night is different from riding the rides during the day. One of those is the Big Thunder Mountain. If you like riding Big Thunder Mountain, try riding it at night. It's a lot different. It's a weird feeling. One of the big announcements that was made about Disneyland was the new Magic Key annual pass prices. I don't know a lot about Disneyland. I'm not a Disneyland expert, have never been, but I talked to my cousin recently who's getting ready to go back for the first time in like a year and a half. He's excited. He lives in California, and he has an annual pass. I don't know which one he got, but the most people that I've talked to said, yes, the price is higher. I expect all prices will continue to go up for not just Disneyland, but for Walt Disney World and all of the parks. I mean, let's face facts, it is a business. They're trying to make up for a year and a half of, you know, everything that's been going on. But he is going back in a couple of weeks, I think, or sometime next month. And from what I've heard from most people, a lot of them are going to, I mean, if you live in California and you're a California resident, you can pay on it monthly. If you live in Florida, you can do the same with the annual passes in Florida, if you're a Florida resident. So I think a lot of people are just going to, if you're a Disney lover, you're just going to make the sacrifice and you're going to pay whatever tier you think will best fit you. One thing that I hadn't thought about was a lot of the tiers don't include parking. And if you're an annual pass member and you go to the parks a lot and you don't have parking in your pass, that can add up. So it might be worth it if you go, you know, like every couple of weeks or however many times. I can't even imagine if I lived near one of the parks, like how often I would go. I say that, but I live near a park here where I live, and I've had an annual pass for that park before, and to be honest, it's only like 30 minutes away, and we still didn't go like as much as I thought I would go having an annual pass. But if I live near Disneyland or Walt Disney World, I think I would go a lot, and yeah, that parking will add up. So that's something you want to consider when you're making the decision about what type of pass you want to get. I don't think, so I've heard a lot of people say the passes don't include a photo pass, which I've said before in a video that we always take our own camera. We have I guess you can call it a professional SLR camera. And then of course we use our phone, and I do have smaller cameras as well. So having photos from our trips has never been an issue for us. We do let them scan our bands. They don't have bands out in Disneyland, but at Walt Disney World, we have let them scan our bands so that we could see the pictures that the photographers have taken. and I'll just be honest, I've just never been satisfied with the photos that the photographers have taken. It is nice to have like a group photo of everyone, but most of the time, I don't know how that is right now, but most of the time you can hand your camera to a cast member and they will take a photo with your camera. So yeah, if that's something that's important to you, just be aware that that's not included in the pass. So Mears has finally given out what their prices will be for you to get transportation from the airport to Walt Disney World. And I'll be honest with you, it's not as much as I was expecting it to be. I think I have the prices. Hold on one second. So it says Walt Disney reservations are now available. Reservations are now available for Mears Connect. This is the bus service that is replacing the Disney Magical Express. And it will begin in the beginning of 2022, and it will take you from the Orlando International Airport to the Disney resorts. Guests can choose between two pricing tiers, standard and premium. Standard is a shared ride with wait times of up to 20 minutes, while premium is a direct service with little to no wait time. And I want to say the prices started at $15 a person. I don't know what the premium prices are. And so if you take into consideration that you're going to be, you would either have to rent a car, or if you would have to either get Lyft or Uber, and or you could call for a private car or limousine service. Those are kind of out of my budget. But again, before you decide, you might want to look into, if you're like a party of four, it might be cost effective to get your own private car. Right now, I can't say that renting a car is the best thing for you because the prices are kind of crazy, but look into getting a car service to take you from the airport to your hotel. That's just things to think about. Like I mentioned earlier, annual passes are coming back to Walt Disney World for the 50th anniversary. They had kind of stopped them, and they weren't selling new annual passes. I believe that people who had an annual pass, I think if you were a resident of Florida, don't quote me on that, but I think that I know that most of them were able to still use their annual pass. The only thing is right now they have a reservation system, so that didn't always work in your favor because it meant you couldn't just go into the park and whenever you wanted, whichever park you wanted. You have to get a reservation now to go to a park. I think after a certain period of time during the day, if there's availability, you can switch over. If you have the pass that has a hopper pass, you can switch over to a different park, but you do have to reserve for that day, which makes it a little bit more difficult right now. And I have the feeling it's going to stay that way for a little while, just because it gives Disney an opportunity to see how many people are actually going to be in the park that day. It helps them to plan how many people they need to be working that day, even though I believe there's still a shortage of people working. So that's, at least for the next couple of months, maybe even into the first of the year, that's all things you need to take into consideration when you are planning a trip to Disney. It is a little different right now. Okay, so they announce, again, along the lines of the Star Wars. So I'm not as excited as some people are, but they did announce that the Space 220 restaurant at Epcot would be opening in mid-September. Again, it's Star Wars. It's not something that I'm excited about, but some of you might be excited and may have been waiting for it to happen. And so you'll get a chance to make a reservation for that in September. I've already talked about the fact that Disney's Merriest After Hours party is going to be coming to Walt Disney World for Christmas time. They haven't, I don't personally have the dates for when it actually will start. I didn't have that when I was doing my research, but I do know, again, there's going to be Christmas parades, there's going to be fireworks, and it's just going to be, I think, is the most normal that we have seen anything at Walt Disney World in a long time. And so, you know, Lord willing, things don't get worse, that this will be something people will be excited about and will be looking forward to doing. And I can't wait to hear about it, because I won't be going, but I'm gonna live vicariously through you all. And this morning, just as I was preparing to do this video, I found out that Beauty and the Beast has come back over the weekend. And so now it's, I think before they just had like a couple of people singing here and there, some of the Beauty and Beast songs, but this is going to be the full show. I'm excited for the workers, because I know the live performers and entertainers have been like, you know, this is their livelihood. And so because they're able to come back into the parks and do what they love, I'm excited for them. So Beauty and the Beast is back. Lion King is back at Animal Kingdom. There's so much to look forward to for the 50th anniversary. There's just so many different things happening. I will say it to anyone when they tell you or ask me, why do you keep going back to Disney? The reason I keep going back to Disney is because it's changing all the time, and there's always something new for us to see when we go to the parks. I've never gone in the 10 plus years that I've gone. It's probably longer than that, because I've been going since 1998. I've never gone where when I go back, there's not something new and different to look forward to and get excited about. So you tell me, what are you most excited about with all of the news that we've heard over the last 3 years? Not to mention that the Disney cruise are back. I just saw one of the YouTubers do their first Disney cruise back, and it looks like it was fun. It looks like there was not a lot of people on the boats, on the ship. And even though I can't see myself going on a cruise right now, it was fun to watch. I keep saying I can't see myself doing a lot of stuff right now. I mean, that's just what it is. But anyway, tell me, do you have any plans for Disney in the upcoming months? Are you going at Christmas time? Are you going at Halloween? What are you most excited about the 50th anniversary? And just like, what is it that you miss the most about going to Disney if you haven't gone like I haven't gone? For me, it's just being in the parks. Riding the rides is great, but it's just something about being at Disney, Magic Kingdom, walking through that gate and then coming around that corner and seeing the castle. That just makes my heart sing. Going to Epcot, walking around all the different lands. I'm excited to see what the fireworks show is going to be like. At Epcot, there's just so many new things. There's so much to be excited about. And I just hope and pray that, you know, it works out for everyone who is planning a trip. Hi guys, I'm inserting this video within the video of my Disney chat, because the moment after I finished recording that video, basically all heck broke loose at Disney. Disney changed its mask mandate again to you don't have to wear the mask in the lines just once you get on the ride. I'm not really sure, and that like changed, like it seemed like within a couple of days, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But the big news that happened was Fastpass is gone. Well, Fastpass as we know it is gone, and we now have the Disney Genie. And if you are a part of the Disney community, you know this has like skyrocketed into those that think it's a good idea, those who are not really sure yet, and then those who are just angry. I'm kind of on the fence because, okay, so basically Disney announced that there's going to be a new app called the Disney Genie. It's going to help you with your planning of your trip. But basically you're going to have to start paying now for Fastpass, and it's $15 per day. You get an option of 2 rides, and then the kicker is, though, it does not include some of the very top tier rides. You will actually have to pay extra for that. I'm not really sure how it's going to affect those who have annual pass, because it's not included in that. So it'll be interesting to see what their experience will be like. My husband actually said $15 didn't seem like a lot of money. Okay, so it's just the 2 of us, so I can understand him kind of saying that. And we're not people who ride like the big top of the line, we're not roller coaster people. I probably would maybe ride Rise of the Resistance one time, maybe just to say I rode it. Flight of Passage I like, but if I don't get on Flight of Passage, it's not a big deal. But if you're someone who's coming for the very first time to Disney, and you've been like waiting to ride all of these rides, and you're already going to be there in the heat and long lines, paying extra for that, not to mention there's been so many different perks of being on property, of being of being at Disney that has changed, and I know for some people that's not a big deal to them. They don't care that they don't have another Magic Band. Paying for parking may not bother them, because they might get on an airplane and fly in. Riding the Magical Express is not a big deal, because they may have hired a car, or maybe they rented a car. But for the average family who's been looking forward to a Disney trip, who doesn't get to go every couple of months or twice a year or even once a year, it's an expensive trip for everyone, but it's definitely an expensive trip for families. And I agree with a lot of people who feel like, you're just kind of getting priced out. I've got friends who who have way more money than I do, who have said, it's the prices are getting ridiculous. It's making them think about staying off property, because you're not really getting any perks for staying on property, other than, you're right there in the bubble. It's making people think about that kind of money that they could use to go on vacations to other places where to get different experiences. It's definitely made us rethink about staying on property and just, renting a house. But I think the kicker for me, and I watched Prince Charming Dev, he really laid it out. He was straightforward to the point. I'm going to put a link to his video below, because to me, he kind of said what a lot of people were thinking, but maybe were kind of afraid to say out loud. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and it's actually kind of sad. Everybody has kind of gone through some rough stuff in the last couple of years, and I understand that it's a luxury to go on vacation in the first place. It's definitely a luxury now to go to Disney, but it does appear as if it's just all about money now. And the thing is about the Genie is you pay the $15, but on top of that, if you want the top tier rides, that's an additional cost. I think that you're going to see a lot of people who are going to either say, I'm not ever going back to Disney, or I am going to still go to Disney, but I've just got to accept it's not going to be the same experience that I've had in the past. I think that will probably be the way it is for my family. For us, there are a couple of things that will make it not as much of a big deal for us. But basically, we ride rides that wouldn't necessarily be at the top of the list of what people just have to get on when they go to Disney. That'll be one thing. The other thing is that we are a military family, so we don't pay as much, and then we have stayed off property, so the thought of staying off property is not as daunting for us. It's not as big a deal if we aren't in the bubble of Disney. If I want a Magic Band, I may buy a Magic Band. if I, I don't necessarily have to have it. So there are a couple of things that people are upset about that I'm not as upset about, but I'm upset about it for people who this could be a once in a lifetime trip, or who are really on a budget and are trying to go and take their children to Disney, because it is still a magical place to go visit. Yeah, it just kind of takes a little bit of the pixie dust off of your trip. So I'm inserting this in this video because, like I said, this happened not long after I recorded my video, and I wanted to add it. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Guys, give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the Genie? Are you going to be using it? What do you think are the pros and cons to it for you? Like I said, I kind of agree with a lot of the things that Prince Charming Deb said, and but I also know that there are people who are looking forward to this, who think this is similar to the Max Pass that was in Disneyland. So I'm really interested to see what the Disneyland people will think of the changes, because it affects not just Walt Disney World people, it affects Disneyland people. Not having any kind of perk for the annual pass people, I feel like they are losing even more of what makes getting an annual pass a good thing. Although for locals, it'll be interesting to see what their thoughts are on it. Yeah, it's just a lot to take in, but I didn't want to do this video without including that I had seen the information about the new Fastpass system, and I really would like to know what you guys think. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you'd like to know when the next chat video goes up, all you have to do is hit that little notification bell below. So until I see you the next time, have a blessed day, guys. Bye.